Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Check the Score podcast. The Premier League is just around the corner, so you know what that means. We have to do our Premier League ladder prediction. We usually get Bailey to do these ones, but I thought we'd upgrade our guest with the ball knowledge. So today we have Cal. How are we, mate?
So much better, and it's better not to have Bailey on it.
I know, right? We already know that he's going to put Liverpool top 2 anyway, so...
You don't want to hear that, especially after what they've gone through. So we're going to have some unbiased opinions, hopefully, on this episode.
About time. So, we're going to try and make this as snappy as possible. Few points on each team, few ingoings and outgoings. We know that these videos can get very long-winded,
Yeah.
and hopefully we agree on a few.
Okay, done. Are we going to go?
I reckon
bottom?
I reckon we do like relegation, then maybe like the next 3 or 4 after, then the next 3 or 4 after that, and then after we finish off with European spots.
Easy. Done.
All right, beautiful. Give us your relegated 3.
Okay, I've gone a bit boring. I've gone for 2 or 3 promoted sides. I went Hull, Ipswich Town, and I've gone Fulham as a sneaky. I think Fulham have lost Raul Jimenez and Harry Wilson and have a new manager in. Marco Silva was a really fantastic manager for him, and I think he's really underrated. Especially, I think he's gone to Benfica.
Yeah, he's gone to Benfica.
That's
replaced Jose.
Yeah, that's a fantastic move for them, I think. And replacing them with kids and a bit unproven prospects from Real Madrid is really risky, especially when it comes to the reliability of Jimenez and Wilson. And I think Ipswich, they might have already confounded themselves to being relegated. They've done it again. And then Hull City, they weren't predicted to do well in the championship last season. Punched above the belt. I don't think they can do it again.
Mate, 3 from 3 so far. They're my 3.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah, they're exactly my 3, except different order. I have Ipswich last, then Hull, then Fulham.
Okay.
So, yeah, my notes that I have for Ipswich, I have, even when they got relegated, they had a decent attack, and I just don't think they have that again. They had obviously Liam Delap when they got relegated. They've brought in Enciso and Issa Diop. I think they're decent signings, but I just don't think it'll be enough. Hull in 19, Matt Targett, Lucas Harrington, very keen to see him in the Premier League.
Yes.
Noble Mendy, I've not heard much of him, but he's a club record for them, so they must have really wanted him. And then your man from Rangers, Jack Butland.
Yeah. I'm not too sure. Their keeper went our way as well.
Yeah.
And he did really well in the championship. And Jack Butland is maybe 34 now, and I'm not really sure he's in the primary.
Like, does he start? Is he their number 2? Like, I don't know.
I really thought when they signed him, I'm like, oh, they're just doing the homegrown
The
ticker.
players thing. Yeah.
So I do not get that at all.
Yeah. And then, like you said, Hull, even in the championship, punched above their weight. They were very unlikely to get promoted. They did. And then Fulham, as you said, I think Marco Silva, huge loss. Lots of young recruits, all those Real Madrid boys that Arbeloa brought over. Significant loss of proven talent. They've lost Raul Jimenez, Harry Wilson, Issa Diop, and Sasa Lukic. So a lot of midfield and
Across the park.
Yeah, literally like the whole spine of that team. Yeah. And then they also scored the second least amount of goals last season outside of the relegation clubs. So I just don't think they've replaced those goals, even with Raul Jimenez and Harry Wilson. They probably made up about 10 to 15 of their goals last season. So, yeah, I don't think it's good.
No, not at all. I was thinking, with Fulham, that is the whole spine of the team practically gone. And then Ipswich had Amari Hutchinson and Liam Delap.
Exactly.
So, like, a lot of these promoted teams don't have the firing power. And also, let's be honest, Southampton probably should have been that third team that came up. And they were really impressive in the championship last season.
Yeah, Spygate. Everyone forgets Spygate.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, I'm impressed with the whole recruitment drive. Ipswich, I think losing Kieran McKenna is also going to hurt them because they've now got Gary O'Neill in charge, and we know his record with promoted sides.
That one was strange as well. He seemed really happy with them winning promotion, and then in preseason he's like, "Oh, I'm burnt out."
Yeah.
So it seems like he really thought he could push like a Fulham job or something like that.
Maybe.
Fair
Fair
enough.
Anyway, we'll see what happens with him. But yeah, they're my 3 and they're your 3. So slightly different positions, but all in all, they're the 3 we've got going down.
Let's do it.
Too easy. Might do the next 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you take the wheel and tell me where you want to stop.
I'll do 14 to 17. So
Yep.
14th, I have Everton. 15th, I have Sunderland. 16th, Crystal Palace. And 17th, Coventry. I think Coventry might just get over the line. Just not really much reason behind it. Frank Lampard might have something to prove, and they smashed the championship, winning it last season.
Yep.
Moving on, Crystal Palace. I'm not too sure about them. They've lost a lot of players and continue to lose, and then losing Glasner as well. They didn't really seem to replace it too well. So I just think even with they got Europa League football next season
they
as
won the
well.
Conference
Yeah,
League.
I think they might struggle with that, especially like losing reliable players. And then Sunderland, I think same with them, Europa League football. Granit Xhaka is a year older. I haven't really kept up with their transfer business, but I haven't heard anything big in particular. And then Everton, they never seem to really improve. They seem to maybe be paying the stadium off. I really think the attack is terrible. Like Barry and Beto, mate. What is going on? And especially if they lost in Jai as well. Looks like he's staying to try to get a bigger move. But I really think Everton could do with someone like a Liam Delap. If they could get like someone like that on loan, a bit more of a proven striker on loan, they'll just do so much better.
I totally agree.
They have such a good spine and like decent team. They just really need a better attack.
Yeah, I totally agree. So my 14 to 17, I'll work upwards. So 17, I've got Cov as well. I've got Coventry. 16, I've got Sunderland. 15, I've got Newcastle. And 14, I've got Forest.
Okay, Newcastle's a bit of a surprise. I still think Newcastle could hold on.
Yeah, well, we can touch on Newcastle a bit later. You obviously have them a bit higher up if you really want, because there's a big conversation there, I think. Coventry, much like you said, I heard a stat this week about Frank Lampard. Well, not really a stat, but kind of a bit of a track record of him. I think he gets a bit overhated. He has a good managerial record. Started his career at Derby, earned them a playoff position. Obviously, they didn't get out of the playoffs and get promoted, but came sixth with Derby, and we know where they are now. Yep. Chelsea, top four with the transfer ban. When Tammy Abraham broke through, the likes of Mason Mount, the rest, that side, he got top four with them. Promoted with Coventry, made the playoffs last year as well. I think we cast our minds back to his stint at Everton and that second stint at Chelsea, and we think, he's not a great manager, but his blueprint is all over this squad. He signed Onyeka on a permanent, who is a brilliant addition in the Championship last season. I'm not very familiar with him, but I've heard a lot of good things from Coventry fans of Gustavo Hammer from Sheffield United. They've signed him on a permanent. And they just signed a 1 year from Forest. And they made a record-breaking signing in this guy called Carl Rushworth. He's a goalkeeper from Brighton. He was on loan there last season, and they won the Championship with him. So they've signed him on a permanent. So I think they're making sensible recruits, and something that I can definitely see them staying up with.
Yeah, I really think that out of those teams, they have the best chance, especially hearing Carl Rushworth, Awongi as well. That's a Forest striker. He looked decent in his first season there. So
Yeah.
at least they're actually putting their money where their mouth is.
Sunderland, you had them too. The only signing that they've made is Thomas Meunier from Lille, bit of an unk. They've obviously got a European schedule to deal with this season. Second season woes. We know how promoted clubs go in their second season. Bit of a fall from grace. They're not going to, I just don't think they're going to replicate the season they had last year. What they come like 8th, 7th.
They pushed really high and they had such a really good, strong start to the season and a strong home record. But I also found towards then they really started to tail off. How are they going to cope with what to focus on? Are they going to focus on Europa League and really try to push for something historic there, or really guarantee safety in the Premier League?
Exactly. I think it's a bit of a situation like we had with Crystal Palace last year. Their second half of the season was awful, like one of the worst. Like I think if we're going off from January to the end of the season, they might have almost been in a relegation scrap. That's how bad they were. But I can see a similar thing happening with Sunderland. I don't think there's enough depth there. Their first 11's good. We saw it last season. But this season, I think it's going to be a different story.
Yeah.
Did you have Forest in your 14 to 17, or is it just me?
Just you.
I might touch on Forest. We'll get into Newcastle a bit later because I think there's a big discussion there. Forest, they've obviously lost Elliot Anderson. Huge loss for them. They signed Ousmane Diomande from Sporting, centre-half. Obviously, they've got Oliver Glasner, which was, I think, an appointment that no one saw coming. We all thought he was going to push on for a bigger and better job after, obviously, winning the FA Cup and winning the Conference League with Palace. They've got a deep squad, Forest, I think, especially attacking-wise. You know, you look at the likes of Amari Hutchison and Boy or Ndoye or whatever his name is.
Hudson.
Yeah, Hudson Odoi. They've also got James. Did I say James McAtee? No, James McAtee's another one. So they've got enough depth there in the attacking part of the pitch.
Do they have enough quality? That's the issue.
That's what I was going to get to. I think there's got a deep squad, but how good is that squad? Also, how much time does Glasner get under Marinakis? Because we know that these managers all live on borrowed time at that club.
Yeah, we can touch on that. And I really think if Glasner had issues with the Crystal Palace board and ownership, how's it going to go at Nottingham Forest?
Yeah. So that's definitely one to consider. And then, Newcastle, I'll wait for you. So Do we want to do, 13 to 11? Is that what I've got here?
Yeah, 13 to 11 works with me. So just 3 teams in that.
Yeah, let's do 13 to 11.
At 13th, I had Newcastle. And then 12th, Bournemouth. 11th, Brentford. Newcastle, I don't think will struggle as much. I think they will struggle a lot, but not having any European football means they can just kind of chill out and focus on the Premier League, maybe take it easy in the domestic cups. They've lost a lot of really good talent, obviously, but they've replaced decently well, and I still think there are a lot of really good Premier League players in their squad. Lango obviously didn't have a good season. Wissa had a really good World Cup, had a bad season last season. Livramento, keeping Lewis Hall. Botman, their keeper seems decent. The midfield's been obliterated, but I still think they have enough players when you compare them to teams a bit below, like Crystal Palace, Everton, even Brentford maybe. They have enough quality there to be on paper better than most Premier League sides.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot.
And then Brentford. I think Brentford are a pretty stable team at the moment. It's pretty easy to just chuck them mid-table. Keith Andrews surprised everyone last season.
Set piece coach, by the way.
Yeah, and they've managed to actually keep most of their decent players along with Brentford as well. I think Brentford, obviously, new manager, but it seems like Brighton as well, where the core infrastructure of the club and the board, staff around them seem to really carry those clubs well.
Yeah. Can you go over those places again? Just rattle them off.
11th, Brentford. 12th, Bournemouth. 13th, Newcastle.
Okay. So my 13th to 11th, I have 13th Everton,
Yep.
12th Palace, and 11th Brentford.
Okay. Yeah. Not too indifferent.
Yeah, not too indifferent. I think the biggest difference between Newcastle and Everton, is, as you said, is that Newcastle midfield's been obliterated.
Yeah.
And I think that Everton have enough quality in that midfield. They've signed the likes of Hayden Hackney, Christian Norgard. They've obviously still got guys like James Garner, Kiernan Dewsbury Hall. I think that midfield is a good enough midfield to get them mid-table. Yeah. I think if they're doing anything less than mid-table, there's some serious questions that's got to be asked at David Moyes. I don't know what the situation around Jack Grealish is. I don't think... Has he signed permanently?
No, they've been talking about it and he has 12 months left on his City contract.
Is he just going to wind his contract down at City? I don't know. But like you said, goals in that squad are so dire. Like,
yeah, they're begging for
Barry and Betu are just... So I mentioned...
It's banter brothers, those two, honestly.
I mentioned Fulham having the second least amount of goals in the league last season outside of the relegation clubs. Well, Everton were equal second for least with Fulham. So I just don't see them adding goals to that. Obviously, they've got Brennan Johnson, bit of a weird swap deal that they did with Palace.
Yeah. On paper, that deal makes no sense for Crystal Palace, and Brennan Johnson, I never really rated him.
I actually can't believe that. I think Dwight McNeil's only a year older than Brennan Johnson.
And he has 12 months left on his contract.
It's ridiculous.
He had 12 months left. Brennan Johnson, obviously.
Just signed like a 4-year deal or something.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Anyway. What else did I have for Everton? Percentage-wise, one of the best defenses in the league. We know the likes of Tarkowski and Pickford kind of drag them out of deep water.
Yeah, they have such a solid, tall defense. And the way David Moyes plays is quite negative as well. So Everton fans obviously don't enjoy that.
Yeah, totally.
So, they're just going to sit mid-table for a while until they want to invest in the squad or improve on a better manager.
Yeah, pretty much. I've also got, talking about Palace, I like their attack. I actually think McNeil adds something to their attack. I think Brennan Johnson and Ismail Assar kind of crowd the same space, and I much prefer Ismail Assar. Mateta looks like he's staying. They've got Strand Larson as well. I think if they can keep hold of Adam Warden, I think they'll be okay.
I think they will keep hold of Adam Warden.
They've obviously lost Lacroix to Chelsea. I think that's a big loss for them. But they've got Evan Gesson from Villa. I really rated him when he was at Palace last season. And Tomiyasu on a free, which is added...
If he can stay fit.
Added depth, exactly. So I don't think he's a starter, but he's definitely depth. And then Brentford lost Jordan Henderson. They signed that Sangare from France. I think it's a club record, so they must be gone big on him. And Callum Wilson on a free from West Ham as well. So there's a backup striker for them if anything happens to Igor Thiago. So, I think mid-table kind of... We know what clubs are going to end up here. It's just a bit of a... It's like shuffling a deck of cards as to where they're going to finish.
Sometimes they get dragged down, like you saw last season, Nottingham Forest, Crystal Palace. Like sometimes these teams get dragged down, but 9 times out of 10 they're just going to finish mid-table. Totally. It's the boring picks.
Yeah, exactly. This is the boring section of the table because 100%. We kind of know what clubs are going to end up around here. it's from here on out where it starts to get interesting because obviously, as we know with the Premier League, European spots can extend all the way to 8th. So as soon as you crack past the mid-table, you're on for a European
money.
a European spot. So just go over my picks again: Everton, Palace, Brentford. Do we want to talk about Newcastle?
Yeah. What are you not convinced Newcastle will do? I don't know.
No.
I'm not convinced by the new manager. I'm not too sure about that. He could be one of those ones where maybe beats Gary O'Neill to getting sacked first. But
I think he's been given a kamikaze mission. Like it's a sinking ship. They've lost Gordon, Trippier, Tonali, and Guimaraes in the summer. Like that is a lot of experience, a lot of quality. All internationals on their day. Trippier not so much now, but back in his heyday was an international. He was the captain at the club. Losing those guys is just dire to me. Their final third options are, Harvey Barnes, Alanga, Voltamada, Wissa, and Jacob Murphy, right? There's enough goals there to keep them up, but is there enough goals for them to, as I said, break past that 9th and 10th position to get Europe? I don't think so.
No, I think they're going to be mid-table this season for sure. Which is really surprising me why Livramento, Lewis Hall, and you can see why a lot of these other players have left because it's like the project they were promised were, we're going to win the Premier League, we're going to stay in the Champions League, and this just hasn't really come to fruition because of financial fair play. Yeah. So I feel bad for Newcastle fans because they really hit a good eclipse and then it's really gone downhill from there.
Yeah, it's been bad. Like bad. Even like how many targets have been missing is crazy. I think the worst one that they lost was, we'll get onto him later. I want to talk about him because I think he's a phenomenal player. And that is, oh my God, why am I blanking on his name?
Bruno G.
No. As in someone who they went to sign.
Guy from Aston Villa.
Manzambi. That guy's a baller. Me and Harry watched him at the World Cup. He's absolutely unbelievable. But missing out on him as a Sandro Tonali replacement or even someone who plays a number 10, awful. Like, I think I heard rumors that Joel Linton wanted to leave. It's like you're losing your whole midfield three at that stage, right?
Well, they missed out on Manzambi and then Eddie Howe left a week later. So you could tell he's really getting sick of just missing out on every target.
Exactly. I think losing him is I think it's
massive loss.
Massive.
I rate Eddie Howe, yeah.
So do I. I think he should be the next England manager.
I've always said that. I really think Eddie Howe is such a good, stable manager, and his football's nice. Yeah, I like watching Eddie Howe football.
Yeah, he was great when he was at Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Even more so when he was at Newcastle.
On them 2 trophies.
Exactly. Another thing I wanted to add was outside of the relegation clubs, only 2 teams conceded more goals than Newcastle last season, and they've just lost their whole midfield.
Yeah.
And those 2 teams were Leeds and Spurs last season. They're the only 2 teams that conceded more goals than Newcastle last season.
Yeah, it's not
like that's come on. And then you lose your pivot.
You lose Bruno G and Tonali.
Yeah. Like I actually didn't mind them cashing in on Gordon. I did not mind that. They've got enough wing depth. Barnes, Alanga.
Bruno G was the final.
That was
a knife in the back.
He is the heartbeat of that team. And now that he's gone.
Especially Tonali for 100 mil, I can kind of get that because you can reinvest that into 2, like Manzambi, right? You could get Manzambi and then maybe Tillemans, 2 people, and you're like, you know what? That makes sense.
Yeah.
If you want to push for European football, but losing him and Bruno G and then not really replacing them, yeah, they're destined for mid-table this season or could get sucked in.
I think they could get dragged down into a bit of a dogfight. But
it's going to be bad.
We'll see. I think the one thing that is promising for them is they are playing 1 game a week.
Yeah.
No Europe.
Yeah.
So
that's why I kind of had them a bit higher up because I was like, they're not really going to be playing any Europe. So they're pretty safe in that terms compared to teams like Sunderland.
Yeah, totally agree.
Crystal Palace.
Anyway, yeah. So I had them 15th. You had them 13th?
Yeah.
Yeah, 13th. All right, sweet.
Okay, 10 to 8 now.
Okay, let's do that.
I'll start at 8. 8 I have Nottingham Forest. Significantly higher than you. 9th, Brighton. 10th, Leeds.
Okay.
I think Nottingham Forest, like you said, they have enough squad depth and quality, and I do think Glasner will succeed there. Keeping hold of Morgan's Gibbs White and losing Elliot Anderson obviously is a big loss, but they signed that Sangari guy. Was it Sangari or?
Yeah, I think I had it here.
Yeah, it was he's from France, and he's always been touted to go to that team you're wearing, United.
No. So Sangari signed for Brentford, but they have Ibrahim Sangare, who's been there for a while. He was in the Netherlands for a long time.
Yeah.
He was playing for PSV. Great player though. I do rate him. Always have rated him.
Defense is still decent.
Murillo.
yeah. Milovanovic, is he still
Yeah,
there?
yeah. Milinkovic, yeah.
Milinkovic, yeah.
Nico Williams still there.
I think they do have a good enough team. And then obviously, I've kind of based a lot of my picks on are these teams playing European football this season or not? Because I think that's going to play a major factor. Nottingham Forest,
Yeah.
obviously, are not.
Well, they were playing it last season. We know how that tanked
That
them.
turned out terrible for them. So
Exactly. So
I think, Glasgow will be able to get a twitch out of these players and it should be okay.
I don't hate it. I don't hate that.
Yeah,
Price.
9th, Brentford, they always do well. Obviously, signed that gun centre back from Tottenham. Losing out on Danny Welbeck, that's my only major concern. And Van Hecker,
Wait. Say that again.
Danny
Oh,
Brighton.
No, Brighton. Yeah, you said Brentford.
I said Brentford before.
Okay, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Welbeck, Van Hecker, but also signing that centre back from Tottenham.
Yeah.
But I think
He is a gun. I don't know if you've seen much of him.
Yeah. I haven't seen much from him, but I have seen a lot and he's done well in Germany. So I'm going to assume, and especially if Brighton are buying him for 40 million, usually they buy people for 20 million.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
it must be decent. Leeds, they just look great.
Yeah, I actually do. I really rate.
I really rate them at the moment as well, which is strange because I see a lot of other people rating them and I'm like, is this like the hipster pick for this season?
Yeah.
Kind of feels like it. Harry Wilson coming in, keeping majority of the same team.
Yeah.
I think they're pretty safe in 10th.
Yep. Okay. So my 10th to 8th.
Yep.
In 10th, I've got Bournemouth. 9th, I've got Leeds. 8th, I don't know if this is unpopular, but I've got Spurs. So, okay.
I can kind of get the Spurs pick. Go behind your Spurs pick, and I think we can talk about that because I can kind of see why you don't rate.
Do you want me to get into the Spurs pick now?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, I've got incomings and outgoings here. Right. So, Spurs, incomings have had, this is significant incomings. So, they've had more go in and out, but these are like their significant ones. So, Andy Robertson, Mark Senesi, Van Hecker, Dubravka, Mateus Fernandes, Sandro Tonali, and maybe Cody Gakpo. There's been personal terms agreed allegedly, but that's their incomings.
And Savinho, I think.
Savinho's also a maybe.
Yeah.
Outgoings, I've had Basuma leave, Dragic, Vuskovic, who's that centre back that you mentioned, joined Brighton, Tynan Thompson, who went to Manchester United, the youngster, Christian Romero, Jed Spence, and Vicario. They're the ones that have left.
Yeah.
So lots of change to that squad. I think their incomings are brilliant. I think their business has been brilliant. You look through every single one of those names, and not one hasn't played a Premier League game. Sorry, every single one has played Premier League football.
And they sell so well. Sell so well.
Robertson, obviously, was co-captain at Liverpool, I think. Senesi had a brilliant year at Bournemouth. Van Hecker, brilliant year at Brighton. Dubravka, good goalkeeper depth. Mateus Fernandes was highly sought after. Tonali, you know what you're getting with Tonali. And Gakpo, obviously, Premier League winger, gives you goals. Good business. But this is where I'll get into my reasoning. They're smart, calculated signings. Best club window out of any Premier League team. I think we can easily...
Yeah, they've won the window.
Yep. But I still don't know who in their squad gives them 10 to 15 league goals.
Yeah. That's my only issue with them. Their signings are amazing. Like, most of them have played at least 3 seasons in the Premier League and done well, but their attack is still really bad.
Yeah. I also think they've got a massive goalkeeper issue. Kinski, I just don't see as a first teamer.
Vicario's gone, isn't he?
Vicario's gone on loan to Juventus. Unless they're going to play Martin Dubravka there, which if he's a number one, we've got serious concerns. Yeah. I think there's just too many variables in this team to have them any higher than the teams that I have above them. And also, does De Zerbi implode? This man is renowned for just going into clubs, signing bundles of players, having a good purple patch of form, and then spitting the dummy and walking out.
Yeah, do like 6 months of fantastic football where you're like, oh my God, they can go on to win the league and then just implode from there. I'm not too sure. I think I'm the same as you. I think the attack is just...
Like, are you telling me Richarlison or Solanke are individually, either of them putting up 10 to 15 league goals?
I'm guessing you're really hoping and praying on Kulusevski, hoping that him
where's
back...
he been?
He's been gone for a year and coming back from an injury for a year is not going to be good.
You want to know a fun fact? Do you know when his last league game or like his last
competitive
game for Spurs was?
Was it the Europa League final?
It was the Europa League final. That's how long he's been out for.
He was only meant to be out for a couple of weeks and then,
turned into a year. But yeah, obviously you lose a lot of experience. You lose your captain, Christian Romero. Jed Spence had a great World Cup, even though his kind of foot was halfway out the door already.
Yeah.
Vuskovic, I think a lot of Spurs fans were hoping they'd keep hold of him, but they've gone and invested that money.
That was part of the Van Hecker deal, I guess. That was probably what was said there.
Pretty much. But yeah, I just don't see them pushing higher than this for the teams that I have above them.
I think they got rid of some bad eggs there. I think getting rid of Romero, I think he's pretty overrated, to be honest.
I just think he's outlandish. You just don't know what Romero's showing up on game day.
Yeah, same with Jed Spence. I think he's pretty overrated as well. Like, I think he's a decent fullback, but I also think
He'll kill it in Italy, though.
like compared to what people say about like other great fullbacks, he really is kind of just a pace merchant.
Yeah, he'll kill it in Italy, though.
Yeah, he'll do fantastic there. And they got him for a good deal. I know they were
30
talking
million
about like
euros.
stupid money for the Premier League, but no one was biting. So I guess he's off to Italy.
Yeah. And then, 10th, I had Bournemouth. I think obviously losing Iraola, huge loss. But I do like Marco Rose a lot. He's a new manager. He's managed, Dortmund, Gladbach, Leipzig.
And Alex Scott as well. They've seemed to really just like close the door this summer to like letting players go.
Yeah.
So
And
I think they're going to give him the best chance.
Yeah. And it's commonly thrown around, but I think sometimes your biggest strength as a club is just keeping hold of your players, especially when you're a team like Bournemouth. You often get pipped. We saw what happened with Semenyo last season. We've seen what's happened with Solanke in the past. There's been lots of clubs that have come in for Bournemouth players. Last year, the start of their last season, they obviously lost, what do you call it? They lost Zabanye, Kepa left. Who else?
Hoyson.
Hoyson. Yeah. So they lost their back three, right? So I think we all thought that was going to hurt them. We saw how well they played, and then now they're playing European football. They signed that Antonio Silva from Benfica, £25 million. I do not know how they got him that cheap.
Yeah.
I think that Silva's a huge coup. They've lost Senesi, but they've replaced him with young quality.
Yeah, I could have probably put that high on my list, to be honest. I think, they're giving Marco Rose the best chance he can get by not having him walk in and have other people walk out. So I think that's a good shout from them.
Yeah, totally agree. And then Leeds, who I had in ninth, two solid signings. Harry Wilson, as we mentioned, on a free. I don't know how they've managed that. And James Trafford, who is their number one for years to come. Obviously, they paid $40 million for James Trafford, but young goalkeeper, probably the future England number one.
Yeah, not stupid enough to say they could flip him as well.
Exactly. And the only player they really lost is Pascal Strauch. He signed for Brighton on a free. The only two worries that I have are the second half season run. We know, the things that push them this high is their second half season run. We saw that Farker was almost on the brink of being sacked last season.
Yeah.
And then that second half from like Christmas onwards, they just like really kicked on. Calvert-Lewin was scoring.
I guess that's the worry, right? Does Calvert-Lewin like continue this form? Because we saw it at Everton as well, where he'll have like a fantastic season, and the next season he kind of just disappears out of nowhere.
Totally agree. And is Fark the man? Like, I know everyone likes to meme him a bit. Obviously, everyone calls him the yo-yo manager. He brought Norwich up and down so many different times.
Yeah.
Went to Leeds, brought him up. Is he going to go back down? There was rumours he was going to get sacked before even playing his first Premier League game with the club. They stuck by him. They were going to sack him. He had a good second half of the season. Is he now the man that keeps Leeds kicking on? And obviously, we know how big of a club Leeds are. They've just been really hard done by in the last probably 15 to 20 years with finances and, going all the way down to League One at one stage, and now they're back in the Premier League. They are a Premier League club. They are the stature of a Premier League club, the pride of Yorkshire, and that pains me to say.
They're a giant. Yeah, they're a giant.
They're a huge club.
Yeah.
They're a consistent. For people who are younger than the age of 16 and don't know much about Leeds, they were a consistent European outfit. They signed some of the biggest players in the world back in the early 2000s and the 90s.
And then pipped Champions League one season, and then it fell apart.
Pipped in they played AC Milan in a Champions League semi-final. Leeds are a huge club. So I just think, I think they're back where they belong. I hope they finish top half because I love the rivalry we have with them as a United fan.
Yeah, they're a team you want to see grow into the Premier League and just sign players and get overall better and better, like Aston Villa. I always love Aston Villa.
Yeah, good club.
Okay, so I think we are...
Do you want to do 8th to 5th or do you want to do 8th to 6th? And then we do...
I think we do 8th to 5th because that's going to be...
Because 5th is Champions League
5th
spot.
is Champions League. So 8th to 6th.
We'll do 8th to 6th. Okay.
Oh,
no, sorry, no, we already did 8th.
Who was your 8th again?
Spurs.
Okay.
So we'll do, we'll do 7 to 5th. Screw it.
Done.
All right.
Yeah, okay. 5th, I have Aston Villa. 6th, I have Liverpool. Thank God Bailey's not here.
Yeah, I know, right?
7th, I have Tottenham.
Okay.
I think, like you, I agree. Tottenham's business had been amazing. Their attack just is not good. I think we've gone over that enough. 6th, Liverpool. I'm really not impressed with their transfer business at all.
Yep.
And I think their squad already looked really shaky last season, and I can't see them getting like Barcola. There's only 2 weeks left.
I've heard that. I keep hearing it.
That's
but
ridiculous. Come on,
No,
in
no,
2
no.
weeks I can't
But
see
it's
them
not-
signing Barcola.
Not Bacola, but I'm seeing Mbai, who I think, in my eyes, is actually a better bang for buck signing for Liverpool. He's a proper out and out right winger. But in the same breath, how much business can they do in these last 2 weeks? They need like at least 2 forwards and probably another defender.
And all those players are going to miss out on preseason. Yeah, they're going to start the season pretty much.
Yeah, we know
fresh
how,
off the bat.
We
So
know how good players are with no preseason. So
their midfield was shaky last season, and the defense, like they just, even though they spent stupid money last season, you're like, you probably need to spend that again, lads.
yeah, totally.
You probably need to spend that again. And fifth, Aston Villa lost Morgan Rogers. But I don't know, Unai Emery seems like a man you can trust to just secure you Champions League again and again.
I don't know how he does it.
Especially with the way that squad gets, like, they'll lose a good player like once, like every transfer window, especially Tillemans and Morgan Rogers. But Manzarbi seems to be a decent replacement. Leon Bailey let go of a couple dart attackers and seemed to still manage to keep the core squad. Lucas Digne, letting go of him. Seems like okay, fine business with me.
Yeah.
Martinez, and they're signing that Japanese goalkeeper to replace him.
Yeah, I do rate him. I think he had a good World Cup.
Yeah, decent business. So
They're spending that Rogers money well.
yeah, at least they're not doing like a West Ham where you just saw like that Declan Rice money get like, they probably would have been better like burning it to keep the players warm.
Pretty
during
much.
winter.
Yeah, it was really bad. Yeah, so my great explanation for all of them, I think. So my seventh to fifth, I have Villa in 7, Brighton in 6th, and Liverpool in 5th.
Okay, Brighton's pretty high up.
Yeah, I just think
This is just like a smoky feeling.
I just think that they're at this stage where they can lose Welbeck, they can lose Van Hecker, but they can just regurgitate players and be a consistent European outfit. They've done it for so many years running. They're just so good at business. I think their manager, he's so good as well. I think his brand of football is great. I think if Baleba can come back and have a good season, I think obviously he's very underwhelming season last year.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, I just think that their team is one that shouldn't be finishing any lower than a European place. And they're playing conference. I think they're playing Conference League football this year.
That's okay.
It's not a very tolling competition.
Yeah.
So I think they can focus on the league and just try and secure Europe again. Villa. The reason I have them in 7th and below Brighton is because they've obviously got
Those
Champions.
losses.
They've got Champions League football this season, plus the losses. They've lost Donyell Marlins, joined AS Roma. Yuri Tillemans, obviously their captain, huge loss.
That's a big
Morgan Rogers, probably their best player, huge loss. Digne, as you mentioned, and Evan Gasson, but he never really got games there.
Yeah.
But they've signed, obviously, Garnacho, who, look, as much as I don't like the bloke, as much as many football fans don't like the bloke, I actually don't even mind the signing as a bit of depth.
I think he's a good option off the bench. If
We know
you
what
play him
Emery's-
like United did, he's a good option off the bench.
We know what Emery did when Rashford came in. We know what Emery did when Sancho came in. We know what he gets out of these rotation attackers. And I think he can get that out of Garnacho, especially if Chelsea are willing to they want to offload him. But especially if Chelsea will sell him for a good price, I think Villa would take him.
I'd laugh my ass off if Aston Villa end up not even signing him. Like if they don't meet, like with Harvey Elliott.
that
they
was funny
which
as.
was really sad, but was hilarious
Yeah.
because Harvey Elliott is a bit of a tosspot.
Yeah, I know. I can't stand. He's my most hated player in world football. So
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. He's not like he thinks he's the beanie.
yeah.
Anyway,
yeah,
on to pressing matters.
exactly. And then João Gomez, they signed from Wolves. I think he's a good midfield option.
That's such a good signing, eh? I just remembered that. That is a ridiculous signing in my opinion. And it was like 30 million.
34 million pounds. Yeah, it's a good signing, eh?
Yeah.
They got him on cheap. Pretty much like for like replacement for Yuri Tillemans. Just he's probably he's more an athletic version. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a better mover of the ball.
Exactly. They signed Ruggieri from Atletico Madrid. There's your Digne replacement.
Yep.
And then they signed Manzambi and that Suzuki goalkeeper from Parma. Their business has been incredible. I think they use that Rogers money well. They've lost massive players, but they've replaced him. You know what you're getting from Emery. If you take Emery out of this equation, they probably finish mid-table. You put Emery in, they probably could even finish higher than this. I think 7th is probably just a safe
Yeah. I think
spot to put
if
him.
we're being honest, maybe they're just missing one attacker. Like I don't think Garnacho is that replacement
totally
attacker
agree.
with Ollie Watkins slowing down and
Yeah.
Morgan
Yeah.
Rodgers having such a fantastic season, they probably could have used like a really decent attacker.
Yeah, I think even like I'm trying to think of like who's their number 10, because like they've got obviously like got like Buendia, they've got obviously now they've got Garnacho to play off the wing. Manzambi could probably play as a number 10.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking maybe they put him there, but
Because Manzambi was playing as a 9 for Switzerland at the World Cup, but when he was playing in Bundesliga, he was playing as a number 8.
I was going to say, I think he'd be better suited as an 8, especially if you put him next to João Gomez, like having him as an 8 and then him as the defense, the 6, and then if you have a really good 10 like Morgan Rogers, that'd be filthy.
Another loss that I forgot about is Amadou Onana's done his ACL.
Yeah.
He did his ACL at the World Cup.
Okay. That João Gomez signing is looking even better.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think 7th is where I have him. But we touched on Liverpool. I have him in 5th. They've signed Jacque from Rennes. They've signed Victor Munoz from Osasuna and Ronald Araujo on loan from Barcelona. They've lost Salah, Robertson, Kanate are the main 3 that they've lost. I think this squad has no depth.
Yeah, it's depleted,
I think it might have the highest average age in the Premier League. I think if you run the numbers, it might be. Wingers, where are they? Like at the moment, they're going to be starting Chiesa on the right. Is Engamoa going to be playing for 38 league games? Like,
I don't think that's fair on him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I think if the tides change on Iraola, if he has a bad run of losses, he could get sacked before Christmas. Like if he doesn't adapt to this squad well.
That French centre back they signed is injured, no?
No, he's fine.
He's fine?
Yeah.
But still,
They've got, I
Araujo's-
think Leone's back from injury as well.
Yeah.
So they've got probably 3 or 4 centre back options. Like what you got Kierke's off the left, Frimpong, but I don't even think they want to play him as a right back. Is he going to be their winger option? Like
I think that's what we could honestly see.
Like I don't know what I'm getting from this Liverpool side. I think they've got to build this team around guys like Szoboszlai. They've got to build this team around guys like Isak and Ekatike once he's back from injury.
They are begging for Isak to have a good season.
I think they're banking on that he gets 15 plus league goals.
Yeah.
Banking. Because if he doesn't, they could slide.
They're so screwed, yeah.
They could slide easily. Yeah, so I have them 5th. I even if all their players kick on, I don't see them pushing higher than that.
No, I think they could have another season like last season where they just sneak into the Champions League.
Yeah.
Like, other teams like who we haven't mentioned, Chelsea, United, might get guaranteed Champions League football. And then you'll see Aston Villa, Liverpool, Tottenham, the best of the rest fighting for that 5th position.
Totally. Okay. Do you want to do top 4?
Yep. Okay.
Work from 4 to 1.
Yeah, we got to give it some suspense here.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Do you want to go band for band, or do you want to go?
Yeah.
All right,
let's go.
Band for band. All right. You start. You go
4th, I have Chelsea.
Okay. I've got United.
Okay. Come on, back your boys. 3rd, I have United.
3rd, I have City.
Ooh.
Yeah.
2nd, I have City.
2nd, I have Chelsea.
1st,
Arsenal. All right. Well, do you want to start with Arsenal? I feel like this is like
I feel sick.
it's the no-brainer. Like I feel like this is like the.
I feel it is.
If you didn't have them coming first, I feel like you have a screw loose.
Yeah, and not to rant, the annoying thing about the Premier League this season and last season is like compared to Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola, who were only just away from us 2-3 years ago, this Arsenal squad does not compare.
Those two sides
Would smash this Arsenal squad.
They would. Yeah, they'd put 4 on them. Like it's bad. Like the slide in tactics, talent, and just like generally how the Premier League stacks up now compared to 3 or 4 years ago. I think
at the top, yes. Mid-table and bottom, like it has got a lot more competitive. But yeah, at the top, there's been such a slide.
I think also when you look back at, I think it might have been the 2019-20 or the 2020-2021.
When they both finished with like 90 points.
No, not only that, but the Premier League Team of the Year that season. You look at the attack and it's like Ronaldo, Salah, Mane. The midfield is like De Bruyne, Fernandes, Rodri, or even Fernandinho. Guys like that, like just powerhouse players.
Yeah, Kante.
Like just so many absolutely like the squads were stacked back
Thiago
then.
Silva, Prime Van Dijk.
Varane. Like there was so many players, right? Like just anyway.
Alisson
Alisson.
when he was at the peak of his powers.
Prime Trent, Prime Robbo.
Yeah.
Kyle Walker.
Kyle Walker's such a I think he's underrated. I think he's such a banger of a player.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like now you look at these squads. This Arsenal side won the league, and now they've added Guimaraes And this Solis guy, who from that Community Shield match was tearing, looks really, really good. The only losses they've really had is they've lost Leandro Trossard, Jakob Kiwior, which he never really got games anyway, and Norgard's joined Everton. So they're the ingoings and outgoings. I think Arsenal could still do more business by the looks of it. They want to sign another attacker. Martinelli's a question mark. He might be leaving.
He got left out of the Community Shield squad, so it's not looking good for him, but it is probably his time to go.
I think so.
There's an asset they can sell, it's going to be him.
I think so. I think they should have sold him before Trossard. For the return on investment they offered Trossard, for how much he gives that side.
Yeah, he's such a good player off the bench.
Great.
He's always like chipping in clutch goals with him, like 5 to 10 a season.
Yeah.
And he's not even playing that many minutes.
Totally
compared to Martinelli.
Exactly. If I said my top note that I have for them is if they don't go back to back, they are a disgrace of a team.
This is their league to lose.
Yeah, it literally is. I think they've got arguably the best pivot in the world now with Rice and Guimaraes.
Yeah, it's filthy.
They're attacking depth.
You still have Zubamendi there as well.
Yeah, exactly. They've just got so much midfield and defensive depth. But no Saliba for the first 2 to 3 months. I don't know how much that could hurt them. I think they've got enough defensive stocks.
Yeah.
Obviously, the likes of Calafiori, Timber, Ben White, Gabriel, Hincapie. Like, they've got so many defensive players.
That can play across the back four.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think just attacking depth is a bit of an issue, but they've got, Madueke, they've got Saka, Gyökeres, Havertz, Solis.
They showed
Martinelli.
last season, they're solid enough that they can just cope with kind of having a lackluster attack compared to other Premier League winners.
I totally agree.
Second, Chelsea. Why so big on Chelsea?
I think their business is phenomenal. I think what they've done in the window is like absolutely unbelievable. I think Alonso, huge. I think he's, as much as he was romanticized with going, back to Liverpool, blah, blah, blah. He's such a Chelsea manager. It's
the back three, isn't it?
He reminds me of a, Conte. He reminds me of a, Sarri even. He reminds me of those sorts of Chelsea football managers. He's pretty much been given a blank check for a rebuild.
They've signed him as a manager and they signed all their previous
as coaches.
So that really says something.
I think he's been there and done that as a player, and he's got a bit of a pedigree since obviously Leverkusen. Things didn't work out at Madrid, but I think at Chelsea, it's kind of the sweet spot. They've signed Rodgers, Lacroix, Danny Welbeck adds experience, Valentino Barco. They've signed Quenda from Sporting. I think he's a great player. The biggest signing for me, though, is this Marco Palestra from Atalanta. I think he, on that left wing back, is going to be a problem. I think he's such a high-flying wing back, really suits that back three system. I think Rodgers and Palmer as wide attacking midfielders in this system are going to thrive. They're going to get so much good ball. João Pedro through the middle. You know how much I rate João Pedro. He is a phenomenal player.
He's so good with the ball as well, especially when he's going to be linking up with Morgan Rodgers.
Exactly.
Cole Palmer.
And they've raised over 125 million this window with the likes of Trevor Chalobah leaving, Andre Santos, Marc Cucurella, and Garnacho on loan.
And then their midfield is Enzo Fernandez and
Moises
Caicedo.
If he stays.
He's probably going to stay, I reckon.
Yeah, Caicedo, they've got so much depth. And that's my only thing that I think is an issue is what is their best 11 and how much depth they have. Obviously,
their centre backs always worry me.
Yeah, and no Europe is going to help their league form. We know when they won the league under
Conte, there was no Europe.
Europe. There's so many things that are just very Chelsea about how they're moving this season. This also reminds me a little bit. I don't know why. I know obviously it didn't pan out the way they wanted it to, but this also is giving me vibes of the Chelsea side that won the Champions League coming into the next season under Tuchel side. Obviously, Tuchel got sacked under the Todd Bowley.
Yeah, they didn't give it a chance.
Didn't really get given a chance. But just how they were moving coming into the season, I get that feeling. For some reason, it's I think if there is a team that's going to push Arsenal, it's going to be Chelsea.
Yeah, they could be sneaky, couldn't they?
Who'd you have in? Oh, where'd you have Chelsea?
I had them fourth.
Okay.
I still worry about their defense. That's all my worry is with Chelsea is their centre backs. I've never been confident of their centre backs and their keeper. That's the only issue I've had with Chelsea and them focusing so much on attack, which is fair enough. But you still have a lot of options up there, even though Mudryk is pretty average. Yeah. Morgan Rodgers, you still have Cole Palmer there.
Yeah.
Their striker options, if João Pedro gets injured, who do you have? Nicholas Jackson and Liam Delap. So I still think they're a fantastic squad. They're going to make top four, but still they are lacking slight depth and a lot of incomings. But are they proven, and can they make that jump to the Premier League? How much time do they need to set?
Yeah,
That's my only reason, and that's why I actually put Man City second. Is I still think they have Rodri is a huge loss,
bro. I don't think their outgoings can be stated enough how much they're losing this summer.
Yeah. But still, you still have Gahey, Semenyo, Haaland.
Yeah, well, I think they've got enough for top four, but like Akanji, John Stones, Ake, Trafford, Bernardo Silva, Reinders, Rodri. I don't know. That's
scary. Yeah, that is scary for them, especially with a new manager. But I still think
they look like they're going to sign Boadi.
Sign him and then loan him out, apparently.
That's what I was going to say.
Which is silly, but all right.
Yeah.
So they still probably need, their business this season hasn't been as shrewd as they usually are, but I guess the ownership is like, well, you know how much we spent in the winter transfer window?
Yeah.
That should be able to carry you on into next season.
Yeah, I think obviously Anderson's a huge signing, but the loss of Pep, they got dog walked in the Community Shield.
And Anderson is good, but compared to Rodri, you know what I mean?
And Rodri was a City player. He reminds me of that Fernandinho build.
Where they're like two players for one.
Brute, absolute brute of a player.
Yeah, they're brute, but also an excellent ball player.
Yeah, exactly. And Anderson, great player. I think he would have. He will play well in this City system. Who will partner him? I don't know. I think that midfield's a bit of there's question marks all around it. I just don't know. I think Haaland's goals alone keep him safe of dropping out of the top four. I don't even think that's a question. Can Maresco immediately make waves and a bit of an impact into a title?
Tactically,
make them look like a title-winning side again. I think there's too many question marks around City.
Yeah, I think so. I just think there's still enough there for them, especially with the quality of their team. They've lost a lot of players, but still, I think there's slightly enough. Moving on to third, I had United at third. I think it's just
fourth.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the same as last season. They haven't really made much changes, but the league has changed a lot around them.
I agree.
Compared to them, they've stayed the same.
I think there's 13. No, I think there's no, not 13. I think there's
managerial changes. Yeah.
Is there 13? It's between somewhere between 8 and 12 or something like that.
Yeah, it is a ridiculous amount. And they've still managed to keep the same players. I think they are missing a couple, maybe in the fullback areas, another striker, a midfielder, but still the team seems good enough. And we just got to see how Carrick plays this season, because I don't know if he can play the same football that he did last season when teams know what's going to come at them.
Exactly. I think
and Bruno Fernandes, need I say more?
Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, there's a bit of talk at the moment about contract negotiations, offers from Turkey and Saudi. I think we'll nail down the talks, keep him at Old Trafford.
I think he stays until the end of his career.
I agree. Or maybe a swan song return to Portugal or something like that. But I think we've had a smart, yet obviously a lack of signings.
Shrewd, very shrewd.
Santos, I actually do like the signing. I know a lot of people giving a lot of crap about Santos initially.
I enjoyed watching him in preseason. I think he's really good.
I think he's good. I think he is a good complement for Mainu. He's got that physical presence about him. He's a ball player, ball winner, good in the air. It's about, I think he is a nailed-on start just because of the profile he is. Even though guys like Tielemans and Mainu might be better players than him, you can't play without a guy like Santos in that midfield. You can't play Tielemans and Mainu. I just feel like unless
his recoveries are really good. That's what I found. The way he recovers the ball and interceptions, his defensive work is really amazing, and he complements that well with being technically really good. Yeah. So just to pivot, I really think I wouldn't start him next to Mainu. I think you'd have to do Tielemans and Santos to really complement Bruno. Bruno is our focal of our team.
Yeah.
And you really have to play to his strengths. It's a bit tough to do that with Mainu.
Yeah. I also think Tielemans and Mainu can play together against Ipswich when they're trying to...
When you have the ball.
When they're going to play a low block, they're going to park the bus, and you need guys that are going to play line-breaking passes. That's when you go, all right, we're going to play Tielemans, Mainu, Bruno, and we're just going to try and break them with...
Play a high line.
Exactly. Yeah. High line through, just try and play line-breaking passes, right? Whereas, you're getting into a midfield battle against a Newcastle, and you play Santos and Tielemans, or you play Santos and Mainu, and you play physical presence midfield, right? Go man-to-man. So I think the reason I have United fourth and not pushing on higher, more games, naturally that's going to be tough on a side that has a is thin in certain areas. I think it's very sink or swim for Carrick. I think if he has a few losses, fans can turn against him very quickly. My one thing I do like, but it's very polarizing. We've talked about this. I know how you feel. You know how I feel. But I feel like we're getting a revived Marcus Rashford. You do not agree. A lot of fans don't agree. Most people I talk to don't agree. But I feel like this is a new dawn. I think we have a very fluid front three options. I think
Attacking options are amazing.
Cunha can play off the left or through the middle, and Blamo can play through the middle or off the right. We've got Sesko. We know what Rashford can do. Ahmad as well.
Yeah.
Bruno can fill in elsewhere. Mount can play off the wide positions. I think that there is enough attacking depth to get us goals. I think we scored the second or third most amount of goals in the league last season.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's the issue.
And that's what's advantageous about our team, I think, compared to the league, where there's quite attacking wise, it's quite a weak league.
Yeah.
Where United across the board are really good at attacking.
I think we've got game-breaking players as well.
Yeah.
Rashford's a game-breaking player. Cunha's a great game-breaking player. Those two guys, I think, just offer so much when it comes to your derby games, your top six big clashes when you're away at Stamford
they love
Bridge.
a big game.
You know what I mean? They love those sorts of moments. That's why I have them fourth. I think we'll secure Champions League football again. Maybe we get, make a little bit of a cup run. We'll see what happens. I think we'll have a good season, but I think going from third to fourth isn't a bad season.
It's kind of sideways.
Exactly. I think
our transfer window has been kind of sideways.
I think we definitely, if we don't sign anyone before the end of the window, I think it could be panic stations. I think we will sign someone, whether it's a midfielder, whether it's a wing back, whether it's a centre back. I think there is definitely going to be something happen there.
I really think, from the looks of it, we're just going to sign a backup to Luke Shaw. And then maybe like a second striker.
Oh, I forgot. What about Dorgu as an attacking option? He's back as well.
He's back,
and I think he's a proper winger. Like, I don't think you're pushing him back again. I think he is definitely a winger.
He's such a squad player, though. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's just like his definition of
with
squad.
him. I think I don't think we should be investing in our attack right now.
No, with him, I really think he's one of those players like you play him in the squad, and then eventually like an Everton or Aston Villa will come around and be like, oh, we'll offer you 50 million for him. And then you're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, but I also think he's a good player like we saw last season when he started against Arsenal.
Yeah.
And like he's that sort of player where you play him in that game.
He's got legs.
He's got legs.
Yeah.
He can sit in. If you want to transition into a back five, we know how Luke Shaw likes to tuck in, plays in the back three. Dorgu comes in, sit with a back five and a low block against an Arsenal or a City or a Chelsea, right? There is so much adaptability in the squad, and I think there's so many options for changing shape and styles of football. We know obviously Carrick has that kind of counter-attacking United DNA style of football.
Yeah.
I think you can't go 38 games playing that. You can go one-off games.
You're going to get figured out.
But you're going to get figured out. So fourth for me. Sorry, went on a bit of a rant, but that's just kind of how I'm feeling going into the season. So yeah, any last things you want to add for your ladder? Anything that you could see changing?
Who's your signing of the season?
That's a good shout.
Because it's always a tough question. Because signing of the season, some people are like, well, who's the most cost-efficient signing of the season? You know what I mean?
I think
people look at free transfers, but like when you look at signing of the season, you could realistically just say, oh, it's Morgan Rogers, isn't it?
Yeah, I just don't think, no. Yeah, it is, but I think it's also how much it impacts a side.
How much they need.
I'm going to go... If we're going off impact, I'd say Tonali's a bigger signing than Rogers. I'm just going to go I'm going to go Manzambi. I think that guy is really... I think he's so good. And when I saw that Villa were after him, I'm like, you know what? Fair play. He will fit that system like a glove.
When they beat Newcastle to it, I was like, oh my God. If I was a Newcastle fan, I'd be livid.
Yeah, he's a great player. I think 60 million's good. He's like, 20, 21 years old.
Yeah, fair enough.
If we're going off free moves, though, I think Harry Wilson.
Yeah.
That's a great signing.
Or Senesi. Harry Wilson or Senesi.
Good moves, both of them. You could say Tielemans.
Tielemans, because release clause 35 for like...
I don't know how no one figured out that he was...
Yeah, I know. How do you... They call up an agent and he's just like, oh, yeah, now.
Like, he was arguably Belgium's best player at the World Cup.
And that's why I'm surprised. I'm like...
Premier League captain.
I thought that had like Newcastle written all over it. A bit of a sideways move, I guess.
Yeah. I think Spurs closely followed by Villa win the window. Yeah, and then teams that need more.
Or Chelsea. Chelsea would be in a shout.
Chelsea,
If the new incomings from different leagues like pull off.
Yeah, I think in terms of if we're talking about who needs more, definitely Liverpool. Newcastle definitely need more.
They probably are the losers of the window.
Sunderland, probably since they're playing Europe, probably need a little bit more. That's probably about it.
Yep.
Yeah. I think Everton also had an underrated window. I think Norgard, Johnson, and Hackney are good signings. But yeah, if you're wondering, for everyone, whole page full of notes. Look at all this stuff. This is how much effort I go into for these. Cannot ever question how much I care about this.
Cheeky chat GPT, eh?
Hey, yeah.
I'm joking. I'm sure you wrote it. Don't worry.
No, I'll be honest. All those dot points I wrote, except for the moves. I went on Sky Sports. I'm just like, show me incomings and outgoings.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just copy and paste all of it.
I always like looking at The Athletic. They always have good articles, so I'll read what they're saying.
Shout out Athletic. What a good football publication.
Sign him up. Athletic.
You know where I'm at. Anyway, thank you, Carlos, for coming on. Yeah, we'll see you definitely throughout the season. Let's
hope we don't look too bad.
I know, right? Actually, whilst we're here, who do you reckon is going to be your Premier League Player of the Year and your Young Player of the Year? And maybe Golden Boot as well. Let's throw those three.
Golden Boot, Haaland.
Yep.
I think that's pretty easy. You could do a sneaky if you're feeling hipstery and go Isaac.
That is a hipster pick.
Because if he's coming off a mad injury, like, oh my God, he could pull it off. Player of the season. That's always a tough one. And do you want to be boring or not and say Bruno Fernandes? Because I really think Bruno Fernandes could go back for back. Like, Mo Salah, KDB, he's kind of in that point as well where like each season they're putting up mad stats and people are like, well, look what he did last season. It's pretty much the same. Let's give it to him. So I probably will, I'll say Bruno Fernandes. I'm trying to think of other players, but I really probably think it's going to be Bruno Fernandes. And then young player of the season.
Okay. I'm gonna say Haaland Golden Boot. I think if you don't say that, you're you're what you're.
Look at the strikers in the league. Like, come on.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna go Player of the Season. I'm gonna go Declan Rice.
I was thinking about Declan Rice, especially with like Bruno G coming in. Like he's got so much.
He's gonna be freed up so much.
Yeah, he's gonna be able to actually take a break.
Yeah, I know. And then I'm gonna go Young Player of the Year.
Be boring to say Manzambi or
that's not a bad pick.
Have a deep think.
I don't mind Santos as Young Player of the Year. That's not a bad pick. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna stick with Santos. Stick with my boy. I think he's gonna have a good year. Or Mainu, Kobe Mainu. We know how much Bailey loves Kobe Mainu on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need I say less?
Say less. When Jordan Henderson's getting more World Cup minutes. Oh.
Jordan Henderson getting a big move to Chelsea.
Yeah, at the ripe age of 38.
Yeah, broken arm as well.
I know, right? Anyway, we'll leave it there. We'll see you guys in the next video.
See ya.